Hey everyone, welcome back to 20-somethings TV. Oh, there we go. Welcome back to 20-somethings TV. It's the second to last episode of the entire season, but unfortunately, this is all we have for the day. Oh, our producer's gone now, so it's gonna be kind of a quick part two of the second episode of this week. But fortunately, Sydney and Caden can't be here, but Caden did leave us a beautiful message.
Hey Keith, I'm not gonna be there tonight. I have too much homework I gotta do. I'll catch you next week, buddy.
Fantastic. But don't worry, we still have amazing more content to go through. My name is Max. I'm joined by Amanda. I'm joined by Nick. And we're going to be talking about some beautiful and I guess, well, not really beautiful things. But we had some interesting news besides Prince Philip and besides DMX. We had a Black Army soldier getting brutalized by a police officer again. Amanda, why don't you take that one away?
Yeah, so this happened, honestly, this is interesting. I didn't know until I was doing research today. This happened in December, but I think it's gaining attention now because 2 weeks ago, the soldier filed a lawsuit against the police. But basically, a Black Army medic, his name is Karan Nazario. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. He's a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army Medical Corps, and he was driving in Virginia from a drill weekend in December when he saw lights behind him. He was getting pulled over, and so he drove about a mile to a gas station where he then pulled over because he had been quoting from all my quotes are from a New York Times article. He had been nervous about stopping on a darkened road. He apparently had made it a point that if he was ever going to get pulled over, he wanted to make sure it was in a well-lit area because, being a Black man, he has valid concerns about being brutalized by the police and them mistaking him reaching for something as a weapon. So he drove a little bit, pulled over at a gas station, and immediately the cop got out of the car. There's body cam footage showing all of this. Immediately the cop got out and drew out his gun and was yelling at him to open the door, to put his hands out the window, demanding he get out of the car. And the lieutenant kept being he was very calm in his responses, asking, what's going on? Why am I being pulled over? Can you tell me? Just calm down. What's going on? Keeping his hands out the window. And they just kept screaming at him to get out of the car. And, that he was being pulled over for a traffic violation. They weren't really, which the lieutenant was like, I don't have to get out of the car for that. But he literally said to the cops, I'm honestly scared to get out of the car right now. And one of them responded, the main aggressor was like, yeah, you should be. He said that. So disgusting. And so eventually they pepper sprayed him, got him out of the car, proceeded to basically drag him to the ground and handcuffed him. And yeah, they said that they had pulled him over because his car didn't have license plates. But the lieutenant said that he had just bought the car. He was waiting for the license plates to come in and that he had temporary plates taped on the inside of the rear view window, and they were visible. And so the lieutenant is suing them for accusing them of illegally searching his car, using excessive force, and violating his rights under the First Amendment. He's seeking $1 million in compensatory damages. I just butchered that word. He's also accusing them of threatening to destroy his military career by charging him with multiple crimes if he complained about their conduct. So they were kind of trying to gaslight him to be silent about what had happened. And yeah, I don't think anything with the lawsuit has happened since it was just brought to court recently. But one of the officers, the main aggressor, Joe Gutierrez, don't care if I'm saying his name wrong, he was fired. And then the other officer, Daniel Crocker, has not faced any repercussions as far as I know. But yeah, that happened. Pretty disgusting, honestly. I don't really know what else to say.
I mean, you don't need us to tell you that is not a good thing to have happen at all. And I mean, I feel like there's something in the news like that every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot that one of the officers already has been fired. I mean, that's usually you don't see repercussions that quickly, especially when it's just a lawsuit that he filed. I mean, it's not something that the media has really picked up on right away. I mean, all he did was file a lawsuit. That must happen very often with the police, and they don't just fire officers every time there's a lawsuit, So that says a lot right there.
And it's interesting too, they didn't say when the officer got fired. And so we don't know if you know, because it was mentioned in the article that the lieutenant brought the incident up to his supervisor in the Army, like pretty much right away. But the lawsuit wasn't filed until April 2nd. And so it wasn't stated like when the officer was terminated, if it was in response to when the incident happened in December, or if it's more so in response to the lawsuit being filed. And now it's brought to the attention that this police department in Virginia has racist, insane officers in it. And
Virginia.
so, yeah, it's Virginia. Apparently the governor, I don't know if it was the governor, somebody in the like state government is trying to like, you know, do an external review of the situation of the police department, wants to be, you know, in conversations with the man who was, you know, brutalized by the police to talk about police reform and stuff, which I think it's good that they're involving him in the process. But it's just like this is just insane. Like, he was in uniform too. Like, it's not like it was a random guy and like they didn't know. Like, I feel like the second I saw someone in a uniform be like, I'd be like, oh, you're not like trying to do anything bad. Like, you're literally active duty. And like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And it shows that, you know, people of color just, it's not, they're not protected. Even you could be a person in the military, serving the country, serving these police officers, making sure they're okay. And you're still going to be, you know, treated unfairly.
Yeah.
You could be a singer too. You could be an artist, just like we saw in SNL with Kid Cudi. I mean, over the weekend, he did have his performances. He did wear a dress. He had a tribute to Kurt Cobain as well. But it seems like it wasn't really well received with a lot of people. I mean, I think what he did was very genuine and not a PR stunt, but other people kind of disagree and even think it was a little demasculating if you believe in something like that, which in 2021, I don't really think you should.
Yeah, well, it's just pathetic.
I mean, it's not the first time we've seen it, and you know, it's one of the issues that I think it has no bounds. It's for all men, because we saw it with Harry Styles. What, like 4 years ago? He wore a dress on, I don't even know what magazine, but he wore a dress and everybody flipped out, and it's like, who cares? Like, a woman can wear a pantsuit, a guy can't wear a dress. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely is ridiculous. I mean, I think again, it was a very genuine tribute. It was really nice to do, especially because this was, you know, one of the anniversaries of his death happening so many different years ago in 1997. But here we are, Kid Cudi again performing, and it was really nice. But some people are saying because the dress is being brought out part of a fashion line that maybe there was ulterior motives.
Yeah, I just feel like that's like, I don't know, people are saying that like, oh, Kid Cudi's a sellout because, you know, he was kind of like inactive, I guess. I don't know, I don't really follow Kid Cudi very closely, but I think it's been a while, I guess, since he's like, I don't know, released music and he's trying to like the peak, I guess, of his career was kind of like a long time ago. So people are claiming that he's a sellout because he designed the dress with Virgil Abloh, who's the like designer. Like he's the person in charge of Off-White, and so the dress is being released with like a collection that Kid Cudi is doing with Off-White. And so yeah, I don't know. People are saying he's a sellout, but I think it's just like it would have to be like that would be a crazy coincidence if it just so happened that he got this SNL performance the week that it's Kurt Cobain's death anniversary. And then it also happens to be a similar dress that like it just, the things don't line up.
We do have a photo.
Yeah,
and I think the photo is a great way to top off the whole, almost the whole season. Look at that. Beautiful.
Look at that. Yeah, so it was kind of like a two-part, like in his first outfit, which was the t-shirt with the cardigan. It was kind of like more of a subtle, I don't know, tribute, because some people picked up on that sweater because that picture of Kurt with the sweater, that's from like an iconic, the MTV Unplugged performance from '93. Like that's an iconic Nirvana performance. So we were like, oh, that looks familiar. But then Kid Cudi like came out and said specifically that the dress, Virgil designed the dress with Kurt in mind. And so, yeah, I think it's sweet. I think it's a nice thing that he did that, especially because Kurt's a legend. But I just feel bad that people are like, this, you lost a fan, like this isn't bit. People, I was going through Twitter honestly to read about this because Complex tweeted about it. I'm assuming they were one of the firsts because they had like the most replies, and just, oh my God, the things I was reading under the tweet were just like so sad. People were like, this is embarrassing, sickening. One person literally said, Black men don't do shit like this, which is just like why? Like, why not? Like, I don't know. I just think it sucks that because he's a man, and then specifically because he's a Black man who's a hip hop artist, that like he can't be, I don't know. He can't wear a garment a different way. Like, it's a piece of fabric.
What if he did, have this dress coming out that he designed, and he designed it in a tribute to Kurt Cobain, and he wanted to do that on SNL. Like, why is that wrong? It doesn't seem wrong to me at all. So he designed a dress in tribute to someone, and he had a platform to give a tribute to someone that just happened to be on their anniversary. I mean, if it does line up, it doesn't make him a sellout. All he did was make a really nice tribute to a person that passed away many years ago. And Amanda, to your point, I don't really follow Kid Cudi much either, but he actually 2 years ago had a really good album come out with Kanye West called Kids See Ghosts that blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he was back in the day, but he did have an album in 2019, I believe, with Kanye that was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right.
And now with Kanye West, though, and Kid Cudi, speaking of artists and stuff, I want to make an executive decision. I want the whole group to be here to discuss that one. Because I know when we talked about it in the green room, everyone was very divided about it. I want to save that discussion for the very final episode of the season of 20somethingsTV for next week. I hope that's okay with you guys.
That, Mr.
I'm saying we're doing it. I'm saying we're doing it because I want everybody to be here for it.
Because I think the three of us are all on the same page.
Yeah, and I want to see some disagreement with that. Exactly.
Yeah, that's not fun if we're all disagreeing.
Right? But that's okay. We're going to leave everyone in suspense for a whole week while we get everybody else in line to figure out who thinks what about Kanye West. But don't worry, because we have 2 more amazing segments of 20-somethings TV happening next week for the season finale, and we'll see you guys at that time next week.